We have with us in the studio Mr. George Mogalu, who is the National Auditor of the All Progressives Congress. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much, Mogalu.
Well, you heard Chamberlain's question there. How is your party reacting to the call? Oh, my apologies to you. He says, he's asking, how are parties reacting? Let's take the instance of your party. How is it reacting to the call for for younger candidates, especially as the 2019 election approaches?
Our reaction has always been the same. We believe that we have to create an enabling environment for the young people to get involved, because it's their show. If you look at the volume of voters, those who play active role in elections, the youth have a lot of role to play, and for us, we have always encouraged them. We've created various opportunities to get the youth involved. If you look at our committees, our appointments, even if for example, the convention committee that we just released the membership, a good number of them are youths that we provided for, because we believe that they have to be involved. They don't have to play at the fringes. We want them to play at the center stage.
Yeah, the reason why that question becomes important is because the president has declared his intention to seek re-election, and you know that he's not exactly a young man, he's 75. And people are wondering, by next year, he'll be 76. If he's going to run for another 4 years, if indeed he gets the ticket or wins the election, is he going to hope to retire at 80?
You see, the point here is you're talking about running elections. Power is not given, power is taken.
It is.
Yes. So if the president, like he has declared his intention that he wants to run, that does not foreclose any other younger person who feels like he or she is qualified to run for election from throwing his hat in the ring. But the point here is you have to deliver. It's not about your wish, it's about what you can do and your commitment towards doing it. So for the president, yes, he's entitled to do that because that is his right, which you cannot deny him. That is principally his right. So he has shown his intention. Others are also free because he has not foreclosed the possibility of any other person who wishes to run any election.
How concerned are you as a ruling party, about kind of this rising sentiment out there, particularly, when you hear from some of the former heads of state, you hear from several youth groups that, look, we want a younger candidate. Is there any concern on the part of your party that seems to be, leaning in the direction of the incumbent president about the prospects of your party in the next election as a result of the age issue?
No, I don't see any challenge here. I think a lot of the issues that will play up in any election is about capacity, it's about credibility, it's about ability to deliver. So for the young ones, yes, they're welcome. There are opportunities. Make your impact. Seize the time. Move into the field, campaign, and win elections. There's going to be a campaign process in choosing who the candidate will be. The president is one person who has now indicated his interest. It does not foreclose any other person. I can decide tomorrow, if I wish, if I feel I can run for any office in the party. Any other person who decides to say, I want to run an election, is welcome, because it still has to be subjected to the primaries before a candidate will emerge. Thereafter, the campaign starts. And don't forget that it is not about an individual's wish. It's about a collective decision of the Nigerian people.
You talked about capacity and ability and things like that. Sometimes some issues don't come up until they have come up before. So, for instance, since President Yar'Adua's time and his health issues, a lot of Nigerians have become more interested in the health details of their leaders. I mean, yes, it's not just about the fact that you have the mental capacity to do it, but also you must have the physical capacity to do it. Are these concerns also playing on your party, members of your party's minds, even as the president declares his intention to run for a second term?
As far as I'm concerned, I am one of those who believe that if the president feels he doesn't have the strength, if he doesn't have the capacity to run for election, why? Why run? But he feels he has the capacity, he feels he has the ability, he feels he has the strength. And so far, so good. We don't have any reason to doubt his strength or his capacity to run elections.
Why do you say you don't have any reason? He took ill while he was in office.
Anybody takes ill. Even the young ones. Even those young ones also die.
Very true, but we know that when older people take ill, I mean, it usually takes longer for them to recover than for younger people.
But the important thing here is that if the person recovers, it's not about how long, but once the person recovers and is up and going, why not?
How do you assess the level of consensus in your party concerning the president's health and concerning his re-election bid? Is there a wide consensus that that's the direction the party wants to go in, or do you have pockets of dissent on this issue?
I'm not aware of any in terms of health issues as a reason for wanting the president not to run.
Or age in general?
No, I don't think so. Because the truth here is that the president feels he is strong enough to run. And we see that he's strong enough to run. And he's doing what he's supposed to do that is expected of his office. So, and he has to exercise his right, which entitles him to run for elections.
I just want to be very precise here.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the membership of your party, that there's a wide consensus on that aligns with what you're saying, or do you believe that there are pockets of dissent?
Oh, sure. There's a wide consensus. People are free to make up their minds. And you see, one thing we must understand here is that you are talking about life. You are talking about strength. You are talking about somebody being able to say, I can do this thing. You understand? So it's a matter of a personal conviction, and that is the major issue here. If you're convinced, you can. Why not?
How are you reacting to the headlines that say that the North is shopping for younger candidates? Have you seen that headline?
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it.
The Vanguard or so that has it, and I think there's been a number of suggestions in that area when we see ACF, for instance, going around to meet former heads of state, and asking for, maybe their ideas as well. How are you reacting to that?
Oh, but we've seen such headlines before in the past. Shopping for Mr. A or shopping for Mr. B. The important here is that we're in a democratic process, and it is the will of the people that will prevail. We have about 67 political parties already registered. Why not? Shop and get anybody you want to get. There are various platforms you can decide to choose. Whichever one you choose, you come into the field. And the Nigerians will now have multiple choices to choose from.
I was able to scan through the composition of the 68-member Convention Planning Committee, and I found it interesting. Those who have been following the kind of the political intrigues over the last few months would see that it was predominantly comprised of those who are aligned with the president in terms of loyalties. We saw a lot of, not just the National Assembly, but even in terms of the state governors, as opposed to, say, governors that tend to be loyal to somebody like Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, or in the National Assembly, you didn't see any principal officers there, just those who dissented, for example, to the Electoral Act Amendment. Is there still a concerted effort within the party to safeguard the president's interests ahead of the convention?
No. You see, let me put this very clear. In determining or deciding who and who comes into the convention committee requires a lot of consultation. A lot. Because you are dealing with a human organization. The governors gave their nominations. The members of National Assembly gave their nominations. The party on its own made contribution. So that's how you arrive at decisions like this. You just don't wake up and sit down and write names. You must consult the various blocks that make up a political party. You can't ignore the governors. You can't ignore members of the National Assembly. You can't ignore the party itself. So it is in this process that you gather the names that you have to bring to serve.
I don't think anyone is calling into question whether or not these segments have been appealed to in terms of the governors, in terms of members of National Assembly. I think the question is which of those that comprise those groups are being selected to be part of the committee. Because many of those, for example, we wouldn't see someone who's loyal to Senate President Bukola Saraki, or somebody who's loyal to Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal on that list. We saw people who are generally aligned with the president's positions. What are your thoughts on that?
If you're expecting to get a list from the National Assembly, who do you get it from? In our party. You get it from the Senate President, because he's a member of our party.
So are you saying that the Senate President was actively involved in the composition of that list?
There's no shortcut to it. There's no shortcut to it. If you want a list from the National Assembly, for example, the House of Reps today, from the party, there's no way you will not consult the Speaker.
So that means that we should accept that the Senate President Bukola Saraki approved the inclusion of, for example, the suspended Senator Omar Gege was on the list.
The leadership of the National Assembly must be consulted. And not every senator there was nominated by the National Assembly, because the party in its own right, too, has a role to play. a constitutional role to play.
But
Because we have to also make nominations from the party. And we have to nominate. One thing you must say for us now is that in the entire 68, no non-party member is there.
The question here is, how does the party now justify, for example, if the Senate, that is led by members of your party, have decided that we are suspending this senator on the basis of, whether it be anti-Senate, for example, activities, how does the party now take that senator that was just suspended by the Ethics Committee and now include him on this list, if it's being approved by the leadership of the National Assembly?
He may have been suspended from his role in the National Assembly, but he's not suspended from the party. He's a party member
It is interesting.
as we speak.